Dave and Darren, here are the top 5 things. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading, subscribing, and now it appears that you're listening to Dave and Darren's Top 5 Things. These are the top 5 things that happened on our morning show over on FM 93.9 Planet 93.9.
The podcast is brought to you by Nature's Treatment of Illinois. Tech Drive in Milan, West Main Street in Galesburg. Milan is open every day. Galesburg is open weekdays and Saturdays. Now you can order recreational online if you're ordering from Galesburg through Leafly at the website ntillinois.com.
Here we go. Get ready for number 1.
Number one.
Number one.
Number one.
Professional bowler converted a 7-10 split
18-year-old kid.
for the first time on television in 30 years. It's that rare that even the pros, it's been 30 years since they've done that on television.
Okay, I'm glad you brought this up because I was confused by this as well. It was the first 7-10 split. They said that it's only happened in the history of television on bowling.
Yeah.
It's only happened like 3 times.
Okay.
Like a total of 3 times has someone during televised bowling
Right.
gotten a 7-10 split. Now, I remember from my days back when I was bowling in a league. Now, I would have been...
Smell the glove.
Yeah, I would, exactly. I had a woman on all fours made to smell my bowling glove. No, the thing I remember is you would get a patch if you picked up a 7-10 split.
Makes
So it
sense.
happens. It's not very common, but it does happen. But I would have assumed
That pros,
that people who make their living bowling would have a better, easier time of
and it
converting
probably
a 7-10
does
split.
happen, but we're talking about when we're in the finals and we're televising.
Yeah, this is the U.S. Open stepladder finals, Darren. I don't have to tell you.
You know, I think there's so many processes to becoming a champion on this tour, and especially winning a major. And I'll get to those processes right after this shot. Again, you can see that ball breaking loose early.
7-10. Come on, man.
Again, the look back. So
That's what I mean. I don't know why that re-rag.
You just got to hammer this thing.
right through the face, leaving the 7-10. The 7-10 only been made on television 3 times in the history of professional bowling on TV.
Now that's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
In the history of professional bowling, now, bowling used to be on a lot more than it is these days.
Right, with your Chris Schenkel
Right.
and your Nelson Burton Jr.
Yes. It says here the percentage.
Although it's on a decent amount anymore.
Yeah, right. You're right. Well, this would have been on Fox Sports 1.
Yeah.
They give you the percentage of like how easy spares are to pick up. And the percentage they give for a 7-10 split is 0.8%. You have less than a 1% chance of picking
For
up a
pros.
7-10 split. Yeah. Oh, you and I can never pick up a 7-10 split in our life. Now this kid is 18 years old. Here he is going after the 7-10 splits.
Come on, kid, do it. Oh, he did it! He did it! He got the 7-10, Randy! He did it! Woo-hoo-hoo! My goodness, the Ginger Assassin just dropped the 7-10. You bet, kid. You bet. Oh, man. Give me some oxygen and water, the spare of the game. Brought to you by Guaranteed Rate. If you believe it, you can do it. Guaranteed Rate. Believe you will. I believe the Ginger Assassin can drop the 7-10. Oh, man.
Someone give me free drinks.
My God, that's Stone Cold's music. Who is this hyper case doing this play-by-play? I've never heard someone so excited.
Someone give me a free meal. He just goes in for, I want free stuff.
He picked up the 7-10. I'm done paying my mortgage. What? That's not how anything works. And this redheaded 18-year-old kid who the announcer
My
was
house
calling
just got paid off.
the Ginger Assassin, he looks over at the play-by-play guy as if to say, I need you to calm down.
Settle down.
It actually came off of the bowling ball and into the 7.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize it was that rare.
First time in 30 years.
I don't have to wear pants anymore. It's like,
Never happened in 30 years. We haven't had a 7-10 split be picked up. He picked it up, and I'm going to live my truth.
my marriage is annulled.
What? I need you to calm down.
I'm going to start dating new people.
The last time a 7-10 split was picked up, it's only happened 4 times in the history of televised bowling. And the first time it ever happened, it says here, is 1980. I find that impossible to believe. As big as bowling was on television in the 50s, 60s, and 70s,
never happened.
It wasn't until 1980 that Mark Roth picked up the first ever televised 7-10
sure.
split.
Dick Weber never made it happen?
No, the only other two to do it are Jess Staybrook and John Mazzara, who did it both in 1991. And then Anthony Newer, the ginger assassin. It's also worth pointing out, he lost the match by like 54 pins. But he did pick up a 7-10 split, so he's in the records.
He did not move on.
If he picks up this 7-10 split, he did it! Marty, I love you! Okay, let's get through the match and we can kind of unpack what you just said.
Marty, I want you.
All right. And it's redheaded kid.
I mean, right here, Marty.
Take me, Marty! Make me your own!
Two.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Popular toy that's been out since the 80s. A little bit past when you would have been playing with toys. But you understand the concept of a Transformer, right?
I know what a Nerf ball is.
It's not a Nerf ball.
Well, I'm saying I know what a toy is.
Do you remember Nerf balls used to come in that square box, like cube.
Yeah.
And when Nerf balls were originally released in the 70s,
It was just a painted ball.
It was just a sponge,
Yeah,
right?
it was just a sponge.
And then on the
those-
box it said, "Won't break windows or plants."
How can you make that promise? Plants?
That's what I want. Like, I understand a Nerf ball won't break.
You can't knock over a plant with a Nerf ball?
You could.
Sure you could.
You absolutely could.
If the Brady Bunch taught us anything.
Well, but that wasn't a Nerf ball.
No, it wasn't.
One of the most iconic toys around, Transformers, robots in disguise. They made a big announcement. The people at Hasbro, they've been making these Transformer toys for decades now. They are releasing a new Optimus Prime. Now, Optimus Prime is the leader of the Autobots. Those are the good guys. You got and I know this is going to be a lot for you to take, Darren. You got your good guys who are the Autobots, and then you have the bad guys who are the Decepticons.
And which one lives on the Death Star?
That's a different universe. Transformers do not exist in the Star Wars universe. The Transformer universe is its own thing. They're from the planet Cybertron, which is in a way very much like the Death Star.
That's
but
what I'm saying.
It's not.
That's all I'm saying.
That's not. Well, they used to live on Cybertron, but now they're here on planet Earth for reasons that are far too complicated to get into in this forum. The leader of the Autobots, the good guys, is a semi-truck who is also a robot.
I got a great idea. You know what would be fantastic? What
Yeah.
I'd like to see is these Autobots.
Yeah.
If they can turn themselves into different things.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they turn themselves into a food truck?
You know, I bet there is a food truck. That's interesting. I'm sure that there is.
Serving up delicious sandwiches or egg rolls. Perhaps a slice of pizza.
Right.
Or street tacos.
There is an Autobot who is an ice cream truck. Does that work for you?
Close.
Is his name Mudflap?
Oh, boy.
That's a terrible name for a Transformer.
Oh,
Skids,
brother.
Skids and Mudflap.
Oh.
They go in between being ice cream trucks and robots. How they...
That's not the most delicate name, is it?
See, I've never quite understood how... if you're from another planet far, far away, why would they have semi-trucks and ice cream trucks in a world filled with robots? That part I've never quite understood. I think they come here as robots and then they scan vehicles that are here and then they figure out a way to look like those vehicles. Does that make more sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so Skids and Mudflap are Autobot brothers who join forces to become a single old-fashioned ice cream truck.
Well, we're getting to that time of year, aren't we? We're a few months away, I suppose, but soon.
What do you think of the idea of like a beer truck that is like an ice cream truck and it just drives in the neighborhood and it plays like Roll Out the Barrel and then it just has beer and then when you're outside, if you're an adult, you go running out and you get a beer from the beer truck.
And then you just speed off when the authorities try to shut you down.
Well, I mean, you'd have to be licensed, right?
And bonded.
Optimus Prime is the leader of the Autobots, and the thing about Transformers is when they first came out, they were pretty simple. I remember my little brother had a Optimus Prime. You could take him apart and make him a robot, and then turn him into a semi truck.
Could you ever
Fairly
turn him
easy.
into a Rubik's Cube? That would have been a good idea.
That's not bad.
Do they ever do that?
A Rubik's Cube that is also a Transformer.
No, a Transformer that turns into a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, well, we're saying the same thing.
I don't think we are.
So
We're starting with the Transformer. We're not starting with a Rubik's Cube. It's a Transformer that turns into a Rubik's Cube.
yeah, that's the thing.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
It is a thing already.
Yes.
Boy, I tell you what, they think of everything.
Yeah, it doesn't really look very good, but that's the.
Oh,
That's not real.
Oh, come on.
Wait, that can't be real.
That's hodgepodge.
I think these are made by fans. I think they're owned by different companies, the Rubik's Cube and the Transformers. Although here is an Optimus Prime Rubik's Cube, so I guess that is a thing.
Huh.
They call it Rubik's Crew. Very confused. The problem with the Transformers you'll find when your kids want a Transformer and you get them for your kids.
Is stepping on one?
No, they've gotten more complicated since we were old enough to play with them. And now they have all these different parts and it's like similar to a Rubik's Cube. You can't quite figure out how to make it. Like you got to fold a bunch of pieces together to turn it into a truck and then unfold it to turn it into a robot. And sometimes you just get to the point where you're like, I'm stuck. I don't know how to make this truck a robot and vice versa.
So they're like, in flux.
Yeah, and then
Like,
it's
what
like,
do I have here?
Yeah, I don't know how to get the
got
head
nothing.
out, and I can't get the legs out, and now I don't now, and then I've monkeyed with it so much now that I can't even turn it back into a truck. So then you just have this hunk of plastic that's neither a
That is
robot
stuck.
or a truck. Exactly. That's not any good.
No, you don't want that.
So Hasbro announcing over the weekend a new Optimus Prime that can transform on its own. A 19-inch Optimus Prime that will on its own
Now, do you
turn
need-
into either the robot or the truck.
Do you need an app for that?
Well, you're going to need some money because this thing is 19 inches and it features roughly 5,000 different components, 27 patented servo motors, and 60 connected microchips. So this thing can transform on its own. You also will need a mobile app. The new Optimus
I told ya.
Prime toy also features voice commands that allow you to control the transforming action or to drive around. So you can say, roll out, and Optimus Prime will transform into a truck, and then you can drive him around, which is pretty dope. So this is the first Transformer that can transform on its own, Optimus Prime. You can pre-order it now if you like. What do you think something like this will cost you? It'll ship, they say, on August the 2nd.
$29.95.
That's an interesting price point. And at that, I'm not even into Transformers. I think I'd have to have one. No, the actual price for the Optimus Prime that transform on his own is $700. The Optimus Prime auto-converting programmable advanced robot. You can order it online for just $699. and $99.99.
Can you still get a Cabbage Patch doll?
Sure, I think that's a thing.
That's an ugly doll.
Yeah. Yeah, I never quite understood
That is,
the appeal.
That's a weird looking doll.
Yeah. And it doesn't transform into anything.
No.
Introducing an industry-first auto-converting, interactive, programmable, voice-activated, mobile-controlled Optimus Prime robot.
Can you really ride around in it? It's big enough you could ride around
No,
it?
you can't ride around in it. You can
Because
drive. It's 19 inches.
Oh.
You can drive it around with your app. It also includes a battle axe and blaster. I don't remember Optimus Prime having an axe. It looks incredible. I mean, it really does. And it'll walk around and it'll do everything you want it to do. But $700?
I'm going to rob banks with it. What?
That's the only way for it to make sense.
Yeah, I got to.
At the moment of our choosing. Our legacy spans many generations. I am Optimus Prime. I've returned more powerful than ever.
Introducing the world's first auto-converting, interactive, voice-enabled, programmable Autobot hero, Optimus Prime.
Greetings.
The Transformers toy that defined a generation comes to life by the command of your voice or mobile device.
I'm just going to tell you, I'm not into Transformers. This thing looks incredible.
Is that his real voice?
Yeah, that's Peter Cullen is the actor who does the voice of Optimus Prime and has for decades now. That's amazing. Like watching the video of this, if you're into Transformers, this is something I think you're going to want to have. But that's a lot of different parts.
I think it would have been interesting if they used Bill Cullen as his voice.
The host of the game shows?
Yeah.
The guy for Password?
Well, I don't think he did Password.
What did Bill Cullen do? Was he Joker's
He was
Wild?
the dean of game show hosts.
You're telling me he didn't do Password?
I don't think he did Password.
You sure about that?
I'm not belly button piercing sure.
He was on Price is Right before Bob Barker, right?
Oh boy, that's
think-
going way back.
I think that's right.
Well, I guess maybe he was on some Password.
Yeah, don't tell me Bill Cullen wasn't. You know what else? He was also a midget car racer. Loved to race midget cars. Bill Cullen. True story. Of course he did Password. He was also Joker's Wild, right?
Yeah.
But when I watched Joker's Wild, it was more of a Jack Barry experience. I don't know, man. If you're into Optimus Prime, look up the video of this thing transforming. And $700 is a stupid amount of money to spend on a toy, but I think you have to have it if you're down with the Autobots.
Three.
Three.
Couple of quick lottery stories for you. We begin with a dude who was at the store because he had to do a work errand. Needed to buy some dish soap. Brian Jasper had to stop at a store to get some dish soap for his job. Ended up winning $1 million lottery prize while he was running the errand. This guy builds paint booths for body shops. And during a recent job in the Fredericksburg, Virginia area, he stopped by the store to pick up dish soap that he needed for his job. While he was there, he decided to buy a scratch off, and it was $1 million winner.
Yeah, because you can get a better price on dish soap at other places.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Where do you get the best deal on dish soap?
Well, it certainly wouldn't be at a convenience store.
No, true. Then there's also the story of a couple who won at the lottery from the same place that they'd won before. Couple has won now twice in Washington with tickets from the same store. Their second lottery jackpot, Henry and Gloria Doler of Spokane, Washington. They have a daily routine, I guess. Henry has a daily routine of buying lottery tickets from the Safeway store there in Spokane, Washington. Henry says, on Tuesday, I checked the tickets that I bought on Monday and I won a free ticket. On Wednesday, I bought my usual tickets and my free one too. The next day, I checked them and saw I didn't win anything, but I remembered I had the free ticket, so I made sure to check it against the numbers in the paper. And that free ticket, a Hit 5 drawing game, earned them a $100,000 prize.
I was going to say, not a compelling story up until then.
So the tickets he paid for, he got nothing. But the ticket that he won, that was the winner. The couple previously collected a $20,000 jackpot from a scratch-off ticket they bought at the same store back in 2010. They're going to use their winnings to take a trip to the East Coast to visit their family. It's exciting.
There should be a little money left over, tell you the truth. I don't. If you climb in the car and drive to the East Coast, you might still have something left.
Finally, a Michigan man wins $150,000 on Powerball, and he says he almost missed out. He lost the ticket and couldn't find it until just days before the ticket expired.
Yeah, freaking out.
Anil Phillip.
Wait a minute.
A-N-I-L. How would you pronounce that? Anil, probably?
Anyway, other than anal.
Anil Phillip's probably not how this cat pronounces
You
his
might
name.
remember me from such films as
Anil Phillip? Come on.
Is that like
Anil Phillip.
Is that like some sort of tribute to emo?
Is this guy giving a fake name to the lottery so they don't come after his taxes?
That's not bad.
My name is Anil Phillip. Okay. Lives in Wayne County.
That's not a real name.
It says Anil Phillip. Anil Phillip, probably, right? If your last name's Phillip,
Yes,
don't name your kid
I'm
Anal.
here for the anal Phillip.
He's 47 years old. He told Michigan lottery officials that he bought a ticket for the March 14th, 2020 Powerball drawing
Sure.
from a store in Trenton, Michigan. He decided not to claim his prize right away after learning he had $150,000 that he'd won. He says, I like to play the Powerball game and was so excited when I found out I won $150,000.
What do you like about it?
I won the prize right when COVID-19 hit.
Yeah.
So I decided to wait to claim the prize.
Lay low.
I ended up misplacing the ticket and found it just a few days ago.
Oh.
He bought the ticket to lottery headquarters just days before the prize would have expired. He says, I was so relieved and excited to have found it in time just before it
no
expired.
kidding.
Yeah. He says he's going to use his jackpot to pay off his student debts. $150,000. I have a lot of questions here. 47 years old and you still got student debts. That's one.
Community college.
Two, I understand the being cautious because of COVID-19.
Yeah, but
I would have found a way to get a mask on to go get my money.
absolutely.
And then if you know you've got a ticket for $150,000, like you know that, but you're saying I'm going to wait until it gets closer to the time to, like, you could have died from COVID.
Yes.
Go get your money.
Yeah, at least someone can enjoy it.
Right. So then he waits until now to get it, and he just gets into the buzzer, which is, I mean, good
Well,
news.
and a lot of people lost their jobs during that period, too.
Right.
So, I mean, $150,000.
But then how do you misplace something that you know is worth $150,000?
the only thing that you have in your possession that is worth anything,
Yes.
you can't find.
Come on, Anal Phillip. You're better than this. How much would it suck to be 47 years old and still have student loan debt you got to pay off? And then you win all this money. It's like, well, I don't know where it's going.
I don't know if that's the right thing to do.
What are you doing? Anal Phillip. That's his cat's name. 100 and
Allegedly.
It's got to be a nil, right? I'm guessing it's pronounced a nil.
I hope.
He says, I was so relieved and excited to have found it just in time before it expired. Yeah, because how much would that suck? You're out $150,000 because you like to wait?
And you're never going to pay off that loan.
No.
Four.
I don't know if you saw this, but somebody has figured out that Seinfeld's apartment on the show Seinfeld cannot actually physically exist
Okay.
because of the way the hallway is built. the door where Kramer comes in, right? And then
Yes.
Kramer's apartment is across the way there.
But it's at the end of the hall, the two apartments.
Right. And then you have the way where the door is, and then you go back to where the kitchen is right there, and then the kitchen goes back.
Juts back out.
Right. So where the kitchen is where the hallway should be.
Would be.
Right. Jerry Seinfeld's apartment cannot physically exist. It's
They
not.
probably didn't have a problem with that.
What do you mean? You know-
Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld. It's like, this wouldn't really work. Who cares?
Well, but I don't know. I think it ruins the show for me.
Okay. I think the passage of time ruins it for me.
Seinfeld's apartment could not exist, according to somebody who's spent a lot of time investigating this. The issue at hand is that Jerry's kitchen intersects with what should be part of the Upper West Side building's hallway. Try as you might to look past this point by saying that the hallway simply has a corner. There are multiple scenes throughout the series in that exact hallway where Jerry's apartment door appears behind him. Mm-hmm. That shot would be impossible given where Jerry's kitchen is located.
That's right.
Someone says here, it's not a lie if you believe it. I guess that's true. Others saying that this ruins the show for them. Are we to believe this is some kind of magic apartment? Someone writes here, I hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
You know what ruins the show Friends for me?
What's that?
The show Friends.
Why don't you like Friends? No?
It's just, I like it when he was the turtle man.
What are you doing here? Weird turtle man?
I think you like Friends a lot more than you claim. I think if you spent some time with it, I think you'd enjoy it.
I don't.
You're just so contrarian. You just don't like things that people like.
Oh,
You think that's a personality?
No,
acting like you're better than Friends.
No, I'm just, if you like Friends, that's fine.
Uh-huh.
I know plenty of people that do.
Mm-hmm.
Just pass.
How about this? Tips from an FBI investigator and a guy that does interrogations for the FBI. Tips on how to get someone to say yes to any question that you ask.
Okay.
It's a trick, I guess, that they use in the FBI. This guy's
Well,
guy's a hostage negotiator. And he's sharing the tips on how to get people to say yes to any question you ask.
All right. But then you're not necessarily getting the truth.
Well, but you're getting people to agree with you on things. The example he uses is, let's say you want to go to McDonald's.
Okay.
And you want someone to go to McDonald's with you.
All right, try this on me.
This is an FBI-approved technique for getting someone to answer yes to pretty much any question. David Rooney, FBI hostage
Should
negotiator.
he be sharing this with us?
Probably not. Probably the FBI negotiating team would rather you not know that this is a trick that they use. He says getting the person to say yes 3 times before you ask the question makes them more likely to say yes to the question that you want them to say yes to. He says, say you want to convince someone to go to McDonald's with you. You ask, are you hungry? They say yes. Say, do you like burgers? They say yes. Ask, do you want to eat? They'll say yes. Then you say, do you want to go to McDonald's?
God, no.
And they're much more likely to say yes because you have primed them to say yes in the 3 previous questions. This is a trick they use in sales, apparently. You get someone to say yes 3 times, and then you ask them if they want to buy something, and they say yes.
Yeah, I'll see if it works. I'll get back to you.
I mean, it's a form of manipulation, I guess, but people now saying that they're going to use this on their spouses and children. So you get someone to say
Do you
yes
like
3
burgers?
times.
What are you writing, a book?
This wouldn't work on you because you're too cranky anytime anyone asks you a question. Darren, let me ask you something. Do you like pizza?
Do you like the band Yes?
What's the opposite of no?
Huh?
So if you get someone to say yes 3 times, they will then agree with you.
Now, do you have to shoot out that question real quick, the one that you want answered? I mean, rapid fire?
Oh, I imagine you can't, yeah. You're priming someone to say yes with the 3 previous questions, and then you get them to agree. It's a tip they use in the FBI. Hostage negotiations. Hey, I understand you got some hostages. Do you like burgers?
I got a little tip concerning hostage. They always jump. They jump with the hostage?
Let me tell you a little secret from the trades.
Now you come down here right now.
I will gouge out your eyes with this thumb.
5.
Number 5.
There is a Clash of the Titans going on social media right now, specifically on Twitter. You're familiar with Neil deGrasse Tyson, right?
Yes.
He is getting into it with the people at Steakums.
That makes sense.
Steakums. Tell the neighbors you're eating steak tonight. Steakums. That remains my favorite all-time Wheel of Fortune advertisement. When they'd say, this puzzle brought to you by Steakums. Tell the neighbors you're eating steak tonight. Like,
Hey.
It's the neighbor's business that you're having steak. You're having Steakums, by the way. You're not having steak. Why?
Well, you
Who
tell
is-
the neighbors.
Who is telling the neighbors what they have to eat? Hey, over there. We're having steak at my place.
Doing better
What
than
are you
you.
eating? Probably feeding your family garbage.
Dirt.
Garbage people.
Are you eating dirt over
A
there?
bunch of monsters. We're having steak at my place.
Saw you going through my trash last night.
You trash pandas. Stay out of my garbage. We're having steak tonight. You're having Steakums. Calm down.
Yeah, you like those Steakum boxes?
Probably saw a lot of Steakum boxes in my garbage. That's on account of how me and my family, we eat steak all the time.
Yeah, and as opposed to just having like a sandwich with the Steakums, you basically just right on top of each other, trying to pass it off as if it is a steak.
Whoever runs the social media account for Steakum, they have a reputation for saying things that, normally if you're the social media manager for a giant corporate brand, you don't go out of your way to say things that are controversial or get into fights with people. Normally, like I do the social media for the planet, I'll just do stuff like, boy, isn't alternative music great? Or, hey, check this out, we're doing this. Like, you promote your brand, you don't take shots at astrophysicists.
You got in
generally.
a fight with William Shatner.
I did. That's true.
Or is it safer to say that he got in a fight with you?
Well, he blocked me because I pointed out that they only made the Star Trek movie because Star Wars made so much money. And then he went on and told a room full of people 3 months later the exact same thing. The more I think about it with Shatner, I think that's probably not him. He probably has somebody that runs his social media
he's
account.
90 years old.
Yeah. But our Twitter feud, the Dave and Darren Twitter feud with William Shatner, that made the papers in England. Do you remember that? They did a story about us in the papers in England about how somebody got William Shatner upset on Twitter. And that was the Dave and Darren account that I was using at the time. So you're right. I guess I have done this. But I just asked a question of Shatner.
You're one of those,
I didn't,
what do you call it? Agent...
Provocateur?
Provocateurs.
Thank you. Neil deGrasse Tyson tweets this. He says, the good thing about science is that it's true, whether or not you believe in it.
So you're saying this isn't steak?
So, again, that's Neil deGrasse Tyson tweeting, the good thing about science is that it's true, whether or not you believe it. Steakum then does a retweet and says this, log off, bro.
What? Why?
Someone says you must have changed social media personnel, and Steakum says, nope. Science itself isn't true. It's a constantly refining process used to uncover truths based in material reality, and that process is full of mistakes. Neil just posts ridiculous sound bites like this for clout, and he has no respect for Epistemology. Someone says, what's the beef here? Pardon the pun. And Steak Up says, just sick of Neil's games.
What?
Then they say here, the irony of Neil's tweet is that by framing science itself as true, he's influencing people to be more skeptical of it in a time of unprecedented misinformation. Science is an ever-refining process to find truth, not a dogma. No matter his intent, this message isn't helpful. So yeah.
Bye, Steakums.
Steakums getting into it with Neil deGrasse Tyson over his science shtick.
Now, have you ever seen, what is the account, the Nihilistic Arby's?
No, what's that?
Oh, check that out. It's
Nihilistic Arby's?
Uh-huh.
I will check that out. But that's not really Arby's.
Probably not.
Right, that's like a parody account.
Mm-hmm.
This is honest to God, the people at Steakums. Like, this is what they do. Okay, Nihilistic Arby's. Hey, they tweet, hey, things are great, and we are not at all living in a pointless, irrelevant dystopia.
Eat more Arby's.
All good, eat Arby's. Roses are red, violets are blue. This is already hell. We'll all be dead soon. Please continue to love Arby's. Okay. Retweet if you also just pooped your pants. Eat Arby's. Wow, this is dark stuff, Darren. This is dark. Ah, and now the long, thankless slog through plague, isolation, and icy cold darkness can begin in earnest. Whatever. Everything ends. Please enjoy some Arby's on your way out.
That hits the spot. Now with the crinkle cuts. Did you see that?
What now?
Arby's has the crinkle cuts now.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day with the review of the week. And you said that wasn't news, that they've had crinkle cuts forever.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'll play you the audio.
No.
Because he was having the gyro or
I thought he was talking
gyro
about the curly fries. They've had the curly fries forever.
Well, we were doing the show remotely, so it was difficult for you to hear.
Okay,
yeah.
no, the curly fries they've had forever.
Mm-hmm.
The potato cakes they've had forever. But now the crinkle cuts are new.
And that's a game changer?
Well, it's new.
He has a review of Del Taco's $1 crispy chicken taco. And he also has a new post that says, "Is the Shake Shack hype real?" Shake Shack. You ever been?
No.
Yeah, ditto. When is that Five Guys burger and fries showing up? Or is that a giant Yumbo?
Well, I tell you what.
We all get played on that. They built the building, and I see where they're supposed to go, but I haven't seen not one of the guys. I haven't seen guy one for the Five Guys burger and fries.
Okay.
What's the latest with that?
I will reach out to our source and find out.
Your secret restaurant source?
Yes.
Our favorite inside source? Mm-hmm. All right, I like that.
Hello, everyone. This is Running on Empty Food Review.
Nobody knows the name of your gimmick.
I can't remember it.
Well, hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome, one and all. This is Running on Empty Food Review. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. Thank you for tuning in and for being here in attendance, present and accounted for. Just getting right in, I say this every single time too, but, and then I'll say I mean it this time around, and then I'm going to talk for 15 minutes anyway, but let's just pretend we're getting right into it. I am excited to try out this newest item. It's not even a new item, it's just a new place that I've never had before. Shake Shack. Now, I've gotten lots of requests for Shake Shack, over the years. I think, gosh, it's been a while. Lots of people, they would always comment and even email and write in, and they would say, could you review Shake Shack?
Sometimes
I get requests all the time. Why don't you swallow some goldfish and maybe stuff yourself with a bunch of co-eds in a telephone booth? It's the 1920s, not the 2020s. Bula bula.
Sometimes their correspondence would come in the form of a death threat.
The other day, there was a flaming bag of dog feces on my front porch. Young kids like to have fun. 23 skidoo.
Boola boola.
Is it all over, Rock?
I guess so.
I didn't think it'd be like this.
Thanks for listening to Dave and Darren's Top 5 Things, and thanks to Nature's Treatment of Illinois for making it possible.
Yep, Nature's Treatment of Illinois' goal is to fully understand their clients' needs physically, mentally, and emotionally because they know it's not easy to live with a chronic illness. Their experienced wellness consultants will sit down with you and discuss what options work best to make you feel more comfortable. Frequently asked questions are answered at the website ntillinois.com.
Until we get a chance to do it for you again, hang loose, kooks.
And you stay classy and safe, Quad City.
Come on, Quad Cities, represent. This is for the Quad Cities record spot. Davenport, yeah, we keeping it locked. Rock Island, come on, and it just don't stop. East Moline, yeah, they keeping it hot.
Bye, have a great time.